Hello, welcome back. We are on our next signature. Which one is this one? It is one, well, for page 2, it's signature number 4. And I've got her laid out. So let me give you some good stuff here. Get your pencil or your pen ready. Had to mark which end of this was my top, so because I didn't want to get it all screwed around. All right, you have some of these cut aparts. There are 3 of them that I've used: the turtle, the mechanical crab, and then the octopus. We're going to make 3 little side photos for smaller photos off to the side, and I took some of the larger scraps, which I ended up cutting kind of short, it looks like. Let's see, did I do that all the way through? It looks like only on that one. I might recut it. If I've got a piece big enough. Do I have a piece big enough? I don't like short, things that are cut short. So if you'll just hang tight with me, I'm going to find another piece that is definitely going to be wide enough so that I can cut this. Excuse me if I'm a little bit off screen. I don't know that it's critical that you watch me put tick marks and cut. I just have this OCD, if you will, about things being cut too short or too long. I just want it to be the right way. Oh, that is so much better. Now I'm going to use my 1/4 inch round around the corners, grab my ink, ta-da, fixed. Repair job done. Okay, so we got the turtle. And these all came out of my scraps. All these pieces that I've cut for the back side where the photo would go, I've taken those all out of my scraps. Okay? And then on this side, from my scraps, I have this large piece. It's really, if you look at it, it's beautiful. Here's the sun rays coming through on a, I think it's called a compass rose when it's got this. I might be wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Here's your northeast, northwest, and here's the degrees. It's just subtle and it's really pretty. So I thought I would put it right here for a nice big tuck. And then in your A4 papers, there is this card that says The Sailor, and he's just totally, absolutely cute. He's just mechanical with his little beanie on. Anyway, that's going to go right there. And then under this, on this side, there is this cutout of a seahorse that I am going to use as a tuck. I've punched a hole, run a brad through it, and I'm going to take the brad and I'm going to punch another hole using the brad, and I'm going to push it through, and then that way there's a bit of a tuck on this page. So I am going to go ahead and start putting things together, and I think I'm going to start with this. So it's just nothing terribly fancy. There we go. Nothing terribly fancy, just a simple brad. Now, excuse me, but I am going to do a little hammering because I want those flat, no bumps. So that creates a nice little tuck for something small, just up and out of the way, because you're going to have this big pocket over here. Now the pocket, this measures the same as it's been measuring. Oh, excuse me. 9 1/4 across and 9 5/8 in its height. So 9 5/8 by 2 7/8. I cut this to fit this. If you want to use something different in your scraps, by all means. But I'm not cutting into any paper to make this. So if you've got a scrap piece that you prefer that's better, if it's thinner, that's fine. So just cut your cardstock to fit whatever piece you want to put here. All right? So let's get some tape on the back side of this. You know, I've always been so lucky that I haven't taped down onto my base page. I should get in the habit of pulling it off. Come on. There we go. Ah! I'm throwing things at myself. Whew. Okay, let's burnish. Hold on here just a second. I have my phone on a power cord and I'm trying really hard not to have it show up in the video. I'm going to stand up and take a look, make sure it's not. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to plant that corner, come up here, and there we go. And then I'm going to go, oh, that's an interesting side. I like interesting things, but I really like this. And I think it's a good contrast to this paper. Yeah, I like this. When you get to, besides, it's got the tail end of the fish, and I don't want that. When you look at your scraps, once they're cut into smaller pieces, smaller strips, they tend to give you a different view that on a 12 by 12 or an 8 by 8, you would not have considered it as having any use other than on that full page. And then when you get it cut down, I've got to do something here. This is popping up in the center and I don't like that. So that means I've got it just a little, come on. Oh, my undo is empty. Let's see if this will straighten out now. I'll be over the edge a little bit. That's going in the garbage. And I'm off here. It's funny how a little thing like that can make a difference. Okay, our sailor, our cute mechanical sailor. So I don't want to come too close to that edge, so I think I'll be okay if I do it like this. Come in here. put him in place. Okay, so that is that. Now we're going to start to play with these little photo pieces over here. So I'm going to separate the paper because I want to try to get these evenly spaced. So I'm going to kind of eyeball. I'm going to start about 1/4 of an inch off the top, about 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. I just don't want them flush to the top or the bottom. So I'm just going to come in about 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to see where this one places in at. Okay, so, all right, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start putting these in. Just about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to lay the bottom one about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to set this one in between them so that there's roughly the same distance between the two. All right, so that's going to go there with the turtle. That's going to go there with the octopus. And then this is going to go here with Mr. Krabby. Put the tops on first, or at least that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and I just think I just realized something. Huh? I'm so bad. At least I remembered. Ah, goodness sakes, what am I going to do with myself? Hold on, just 2 shakes. I honestly don't remember if I gave you these measurements. Okay, these are going to measure at 4 3/8 in length. And then they're going to measure 2 3/4 in their width. And I apologize. I'm really bad about it. I acknowledge it. I admit it. It doesn't make me a bad person. My brain is just on override, and it's already thinking about the next step, and I kind of forget about the current step. So I apologize. Don't send me any nasty notes. That was the short one. Okay. All right, let's get the back side put on. These will be cute. Put a small, or journal. You could actually journal on the back of these, depending upon what scrap pieces you use, or just use a dark dark blue pen. But these would be for cute small cameo. Someone's giving you a great big old smile, and then here's their beautiful face with their grin. I think that would be awesome. I have a lot of friends. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm really close to the Pacific Ocean, and I've got a lot of friends that love to go there. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe one of them will pick this album up. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, so those are all done and set. Okay, so next on the agenda. Okay, I'm getting my scraps mixed up with my working pieces. I can't have that. All right, next on the agenda. In the A4, there is this card, and I'm using it with these 3 photo opportunities. I think it's really cool. The Sailor Club, deep blue with the seahorse. You've got some coral coming in here, and then there's the word coral. Here's some directional info you would find off of a compass. So this is going to go on the front. So then on the back side, this piece here is going to come from a cut that you're going to make in another page. So don't freak out when I tell you to cut for this, because we're building from the top up. But you're going to find the piece that has this coral reef in the corner. It's got a compass directional up here. And then you're going to cut it to fit this. Which way is this going? So this is 5 inches across with a 1/2 inch score. So that means this piece, my piece, is cut at just hair over 4 3/8. It's right in between 4 3/8 and 4 1/2. So it's that tick mark right in between there. And then set the rest of that piece aside because you're going to be using it. Okay, so I'm going to get these glued on, and then I'm going to tape it in. Get it mounted. The back side of this has the, it's out of the 12 by 12, and it has the lighthouse on it. So if that helps you find it a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. It's shorter than the rest of, than the signature page. That's why I'm using it as an internal piece. And I want to bring that right up as best I can to the score line. The pocket underneath is going to create a little bit of an opposition for you. See, it just did. it wants to push this away, and I don't really want that to happen. I want it, because I don't want tape showing on the reverse side. So let's see, how did that go? Oh, I did pretty good. Yay. So just keep in mind that when you're putting this over this piece, it's going to create a little bit of a push. So just be patient, place it in, and you'll be set and ready to go. Now, on the inside here, I wanted something, so I created a little tag that will go down here on the bottom. And it's going to sit about 1/4 of an inch up. So there's a little bit of a tuck, and then you still got a spot here for a photo. All right. Now, so that it's got a matching partner, we're going to cut a separate piece for over here. Now, this is out of the A4 paper, and you're going to use both sides. It's just going to fill in on the back, and it's got the porthole on it, so it's going to go here on the back. All right, so this piece, I have all kinds of stuff paper clipped together. This is also going to measure in at, this measured in at 5 1/8. And it is, you know, I forgot, I did it again. Maybe my blood sugars are adjusting. This is, it's writing, I don't know what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. 8 5/16 by 5 1/8. So that should be the same with this, or pretty close to it. This came in at 5 inches by 8 1/4. So I'm not sure what I was thinking when I cut that one. So if you want them to match exactly, cut to this one at 5 inches by 8 1/4. Now, I'm not going to do any adjusting. I'm not going to cut this down because I've already got everything laid out, so it is what it is. Now, when you cut, oh, I know why it is. I know why it is. So don't cut it down. At 5 1/8, it's because you're going to score at 1/2 and you're going to score it at 5/8. We need this 1/8 of an inch gusset to get over these edges. And I apologize. I make these, it takes me a day or two to actually lay it out, set it up, and make it, and I kind of forget why I do some things. So just smack me around a little bit. I don't care. All right. So we're going to turn this over. I shouldn't be so hard on myself. I just don't like making mistakes. I don't like forgetting things. So we're going to come right up to the score line of the 5/8 score, not this 1/2 inch, but the 5/8 score, so that this gusset that we're building is going to fold up and over the photo mats just beneath it. That way you've got a nice gusset ridge, and it's not buckling. All right. Okay. So then we have this piece that is going to be cut so that I'm just barely 1/16 of an inch all around. And again, this is off of your A4 paper. Okay, set that in there. And then we have this piece for the inside. It's the other half of the one we just laid. And this is a unique piece here, but I've already played with it a couple of times in the book, so I don't like repeating elements if I can help it. Come on, don't do that. Just sneaking up to this score line. Now, here you have in your cut aparts, you've got a tag that says Sailor Club Deep Blue, Follow Your Dreams. I've matted it on black cardstock. I've ran tape down the length, and I am going to set this right in here, just about 1/4 inch in and up. So you've got a tuck, a fairly decent tuck coming in from the side. Okay. Now, the next one, this is going to be a big fold out on both sides. So we're going to cut this fold out first. We're going to attach it, and then we're going to, I'll give you the measurements for this here in just 2 shakes. So find the mechanical crab. I do believe this came off of the A4. And then this is 12 by 12. This sheet here. I'm trying to remember what was on this side. It says coral, it's got some gears, but I want this side here. And then you're going to find this sheet, and we're going to use both halves. So set those aside. So let's take a look at the measurement for this. Look at that, I'm remembering. 9 5/8. We're going to come across at 6 inches with a 1/2 inch score. And I want to get to all of this here in a little bit. All right. This is going to be your, your outside. This is going to go, this, gotten myself turned around. This is your, going to get planted. This is going to go here. Ugh. This one is going to measure at 6 3/4, and you're going to score it at a 1/2, and you're going to score at 3/4, and obviously it's 9 5/8 in height. So I want to attach this. I rounded the corners on this, but I'm not on this because then it just looks funky. So I'm going to attach this on the inside. Let go. I know there's an easier way to do this. I'm just trying to stay in frame for you. All right, so this is your flap, and it's going to open. It's going to be a big flap, going to be a big piece. So before we go putting the paper on, we're going to go ahead and attach this. I've got pieces flying everywhere. Now when you set this up, you're going to take this edge and you're going to come right to the 3/4 inch score mark. Not over it, right up next to it, because we need this gusset to absorb, so it's got to stand up straight on this side. And then we're going to fold this over, give it a push, and then I'm going to come in here and give it a good burnish. And then I don't have any tape showing. We've got a nice gusset right there, and it lays over beautifully. All right, now, I don't want to get these all mixed up because they all belong on this side. So I'm going to paper clip a bunch of stuff together because I want to get the measurements to you for the this opposite side. I'm hoping I am not mixing things up here. Okay. So you cut a blue piece. This is the other half. It's sitting over here on the right hand side. So you're going to cut the other portion of it is going to fit for this page. Find the one that says the Crab Journal. I think that's funny, the Crab Journal. And then this is where you're putting the other half of that mechanical page that you just cut that's sitting over there. This is in your cut aparts. Cut it, pull it out, get it ready. See, those all go there. And they are the same, this is the same measurement. It's at 6 inches with a 1/2 inch score. And then, I don't want to get these all mixed up here. And then this side is going to measure at 7 inches with a 1/2 inch score and a 3/4 inch score. And then the same thing, this is going to, I've rounded the corners, but this is going to mount to the outside, so you're going to have a big open flap that's going to take place on the left side. Okay, so let's go ahead and take my tape off. And I apologize if there's, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. And this is how I normally do it, but I have tape sticking to my fingers. There. I just gotta quit being fancy. Let's not be fancy when I'm putting it on. All right. Same thing. This is going to come on here. Now you have quite a big build sitting over here. You are going to have a little bit of push on everything that's already built up on this side, but we're going to come right up to that 1/4 inch score line. We're going to fold this over, and it's going to want to tent up on you, but that's okay. Just get this down without folding in on your gusset. I want that gusset to sit up here on this edge. Does that make sense? I hope so. And you can see where I didn't get this lined up very well because I've got tape showing here. No can do on that. So time to do a little bit of surgery. And I don't even have good connection on the tape, so that was easy. So from this side, I'm going to come right up. There we go. Put the cap back on real quick. All right, it's gonna fold inward this way. Now we gotta set some magnets. We're gonna use 3, again, because of the weight and the size of the page. I hope I'm not blowing you through your magnets. Here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. It's just that when you start closing these, you'll understand okay, so hold tight here, folks. We're gonna put the magnets on the inside, on the left side panel, on the inside, on the left. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. And this way we have there, because this is going to come way over here, so I want the magnets on this side. And the little magnets just won't work. By the time you get all this paper put in, there is a lot of layers, and they don't have the hold. They don't have the pull. Oh, I needed that. I got to get the other halves. So the big magnets and 3 of them. Now, I don't know what cardstock weight you're working with, but I always work with 100-pound weight because I want the sturdiness in my books. I don't want them limpy. So 100-pound cardstock does that for me. So I have really thick layers that I am putting magnets onto. And with the extra weight, those little ones just don't work. Give a little slide, and there we go. Now I will tape on both of these. But for me to remember what I did, I'm going to start on this side for layering. See, these will be for the inside. So bear with me here. This, okay, in your paper, and I'll be honest, I don't remember. I think this is going to be in your 12 by 12. This is a cut aparts and based on their size. This came out of the 12 by 12 out of is it the patterns? But we haven't used it, and I want to use it, so I am foregoing all of these. I think I've got plenty cut to put in the album when it's done. So this piece is going to fit right here. Now there's another half to that. Hold on to it because it's going to go over here. So for the front, this came off of the 12 by 12 sheet that had the 3 cutout cards across the bottom. So you're going to cut it out. It's short when it comes on this page, but you have from a cut apart page, across the top and across the bottom, there is this long strip. We've already cut some on a previous signature. We're going to cut them again because we're going to use them to fill in the gaps here, top and bottom. Now, from another A4 is a lantern off the A4 that and I even marked it, A4, that you're going to actually cut this lantern out, mount it on black cardstock. We're going to pop it up so we've got a little bit of height on this page. And then on that same piece, I want you to fussy cut out the gears. Mount them on black cardstock, and then they're going to be added here so that you've got some depth, you've got some action taking place here on this front page. So I'm going to go ahead and get this centered, get this on. I can tape or glue it. And I can tell this is out of the A4 by the size of the cards. Or this was out that 12 by 12. It's the other one that's A4. Okay, so I'm kind of eyeballing top to bottom. I don't have to be exact or precise because these are going to take up and fill up the gap. So just as best as you can. Oh, before that sticks, I had it too far over. There we go. All right. Now there are two strips. I want you to cut both strips. So we can't round these corners. I'm reminding myself by saying that out loud because we've got flaps attached to them on the underside. A little bit of dimension. Something just a little bit different. Not too terribly wild, but different. So where did my little gears go? Oh, here we are. So that one's going to go there. That one's going to go there. And this one's going to go back here. All right. So that's, and oh, and then I forgot this guy. All right, and then he's going to sit right back in his place. Now I'm going to remove my remark about A4. Okay, so there's the front of that side. Okay, now we're going to come in here. This piece is what's going to go right here. And then this half is what's going to come in on this side. So this is the build that we're going to have when we get in here. This is going to go here. And this is getting taped on. Wind is starting to pick up. We've got a weather change coming in, and I can hear my screen door creaking out in my shed. All right, so gonna kind of just lay this up here very carefully. I'm just waiting for a gust of wind to come along and take that door. Just... And then here, where it says the crab journal, that's just going to be... No, that's not where I was going to do. It's this piece is going to come in up here. This is going on the inside. This piece is going to come up here, and I've got it taped right through here. It's going to become a tuck on this page. And I just kind of want to get some even distances. All right, so there, using this as an example, you've got a nice tuck and you can put some photos down here. Now let's move to the inside. This is going to go here. Or here, wait a minute. Too many moving pieces. Okay, it's gonna go here. This is gonna go over here. And then, and this is just gonna go against my grain, but I needed to do it because I wanted this strip. You have this sheet in your 12 by 12s, and this is what it looks like on the back side. You're going to cut a 1-inch strip off the length of this because we're going to use it as an accent down here. This came out of my scraps. In fact, it goes this way if you want the numbers to go the right way. So this pocket on this page is going to measure in at 2 3/8 by 6 1/8, but double check your measurements because this score line and this score line is where this needs to fit in between. And I've got a nice little snug fit there. So we're going to go ahead and get this down. And then we'll put the pocket in. I feel like I'm being so bad gluing over the tops of all those. Okay. There we go. Make sure I'm staying off of the score line, and then this is going to get taped. I don't use tape on my pockets or my tucks unless I absolutely have to, like I know it won't be a problem or I'm out of tape. Because glue spreads, tape stays right where it was intended to be. Okay, so it's going to come in here on the bottom, just inside both of those score marks. My yellow scrap, you can pick whatever scrap you want out of your scrap pieces to do this. There is no need to go into your paper stock unless you have to, or like I just did, I told you to, because we need it to place as an accent, in this case, this piece here. Okay, all the edges are inked. And we're going to center this like so. And then out of your cut-aparts, I picked the phrase here, diary, backed it on black cardstock, and now it's going to go, and we're going to glue that right here. Now if you want, and now it's an afterthought on my part, you could put some cute little brads right here if you've got it. And had I noticed, I would have done that, but I just saw it. So maybe that will help you decide whether you want to do that, because I said something now. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to glue in this piece. No. There we go. Now remember, when you cut this, the rest of the paper you're going to be using on the right hand side. So now here's where the crab journal comes in at. Just going to create a bottom tuck, going to come up about 1/4 inch. And then you've got plenty of room up here for a photo. So this is going to fold in, and then this is going to close, and now we're going to open up, and we're going to start to play over here on this side. And what I'm going to do is grab the pieces that are going to go on the inside. I want to show you something. So when this is open like this gear collection is the other half over here. Do you see that? So when I cut this piece and this piece were the same sheet of paper. This piece, when I cut it, is the same pieces over here, off the same sheet of paper. Now I'm getting nervous because I'm wondering where this piece is. Nah. There it is. Whew. I thought I had it. It's the other half to this is the other half of the piece that is, hold on, right here. So that when this is open, you're looking at blue, checkered, blue, if that makes any sense. But now I've got all my elements over here all in a disarray. Try and remember what goes where. It's not that easy, you know. You put a lot of time and effort and thought putting these albums together and getting them all designed. And I put things where I think they would look good. And then when I've got to break it all open, I feel like I kind of lose my whereabouts on what went where. What was I thinking? All right, so while we're here, we're going to go ahead and glue this piece down. So as I start to play with the elements, I can put them where they belong. Okay, don't want to look at that. All right, we're going to build the same type of a pocket over here. Took the word journal out of the cut aparts. We're going to do the exact same thing. So this is going to measure at 2 3/8, and I'm coming in right at 6 inches. And again, it's going to fit right in between these score marks. Okay, strip the tape off. And then I'm going to lay it in here. And then same yellow strip. It was a nice long strip. This is going to come in here. And then this strip down the middle again. And then the word journal. Sit right here. Okay. So now we have this side. I had something planned over here, but I've got to refresh my memory. It was this. It's the mechanical crab. It's one of the cutouts. I do believe it came off the A4. And he's just going to be a tuck right down here on the bottom. All right? See, I went into my gusset there, so that's gonna be a problem, but too late. All right, this piece. Let's go ahead and get it glued down. And then poop deck. I think that's funny. We're going to create a tuck up here, so we're going to run some tape here across the top. This is, I do believe this came off the A4 pack. And then we have a nice little tuck right there, as you can see. Okay, now we're going to close this so that we can put in this. So this piece is short. You should have it left over. It's the other half to this. Okay. We're going to do the same thing here that we did on the first one on the left hand side, is that we are going to come in here and we are going to do some layering to take up the gaps. But first, I'm going to put some tape on this. And which means I'm going to need to put tape on the upper parts. I know I did this earlier and I taped them as a separate, but I think I'm going to try and put this on. So it's going to come like this, and then like this. And then down here like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run and the only reason this is a dilemma for me right now is because I need to make sure that this whole piece gets taped. So I'm going to run a little bit of glue here so that I can put this back in place. And then I'm going to put this on where I want it to be, and then I will run some tape. And then I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to take and run a little bit of glue. Now, if you're the type of person that glues everything, that's fine, but I want to tape where my magnets are. Now I'm going to turn this way so I can see, because I want a certain visual. Nope, don't do that. There, that's what I want right there. Okay, now I can run tape right across here, and I'll be okay with that tape coverage. Now I have there. Now you have this in your cards for cutouts. I do believe this came out of the A4 pack. I'm running tape along the length, and I'm going to come right in here about 1/4 of an inch in, roughly 1/4 of an inch up above this edge, and I'm going to create a tuck here. And then in your cutouts, there is this little phrase that says, "Let the sea set you free." This is going to come in right here. Now you can change up the elements if you want to. All right, so now when you fold this, this is on the outside. You've got your lantern here. I'm going to cap off my glue real quick so that it doesn't dry. Okay, and see, and then these line up and match. And then we open, we've got our tucks here, photo here, and then on the inside, here we go. We've got the 3 photos. We've got a couple of tucks. We have another tuck. Nice big pocket. And then we have on this side, lots of room for photos. We've got a tuck, a pocket, and then we come over here and we've got the same nice big photo areas, a tuck and a pocket. All right, let's get some tape on the back side of this and let's get this in our album. I'm gonna pick up my brads. Now I'm gonna use a little bit wider tape because this guy is big and thick. So I'm gonna use a 5/8 of an inch. This is almost a mini book inside of the book. And because of the weight, I'm going to go ahead and add these as my support strips back here. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I don't want this spinning around on me. I want the brads to stay put. I could have taped it in, but I thought I would just change it up just a tad bit. All right. So let's get in here. And again, I've got tape on the inside, and I've already added the tape up next to the gusset for this side. So this is going to come right up to the edge. All right, I'm turning it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure I've got it all going in the right direction. I'm going to take that little piece off. This is going to be a challenge to get into because it's so thick. All right, I am bringing this gusset right up to this edge and then making sure that I am even top to bottom, that I'm not coming in at a slant. Now we have the pleasure of getting in here and taking the tape off. It's always a pleasure. And then I'm going to make sure that my gusset is standing up straight, that it's not caving in on me when I commit the tape. There we go. And then we're going to take the bottom off. And that starts the process for this gusset, so I make sure that it's standing the way it's supposed to. Turn this around. And I'm going to grab this last piece here. Gee, Louise Louise, I am just flinging things all over the place here today. And then make sure my gusset's standing up straight. If I get rid of this power cord, I think it'd be a lot better. All right, let's get in here. Make sure I get a good burnish on this thing. Okay, goodness sakes, that was a big one. Photo mats, pocket, a little tuck. We've got tucks here, some nice display here, and then we have a tuck, big wide open spaces here for photos with a tuck and a pocket, and then the same over here. Look at that. All right. Gosh, we've only got one signature to go. So I do hope that you have pulled this piece of paper out and that you've got this cut and ready to go, because we're going to be playing with them here on the last signature. So I'll see you then. Bye.